Glorio might be an android. Yep, it's looking like that might be the case, and we're going to talk about that, plus a bunch of other stuff that happened in Dragon Ball DAIMA Episode 6. Join me as I break down the entire Dragon Ball DAIMA series. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And once I'm done with DAIMA, I'm going to be breaking down other stuff in Dragon Ball and perhaps some other animes. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. So today I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm not going to do a whole episode summary because you already watched the episode. There's no need for me to do that. I'm just going to do a list. 5 things I noticed in Dragon Ball DAIMA Episode 6. Number 1. There's a whole bunch of confusion about the Glind/Shinjin thing. Plus, we got a bunch of new information about how Glinds work, so let's break all of that down. Before I get into the confusion, let's just go over some of the important details here. So, Degesu, Arinsu, and Shin, or Nahare, Kaioshin, they're all siblings. So, the Glinds are born from trees, and if they're born from the same tree, then they are siblings. Degesu and Arinsu stayed behind in the demon realm, while Shin, or Nahare, went to the mortal realm, the human realm. And the reason that they stayed behind is because, well, it appears, at least what's being implied here, is that they were very ambitious. And this actually links with Zamasu. So, of course, Zamasu in Dragon Ball Super ends up becoming, Goku Black, and it's this whole convoluted thing, which I'm not going to get into it. But basically, Zamasu is the mastermind behind the whole Goku Black thing. He, although it's never stated, it appears to be a Glind as well. So, why do the ones that have very strong ambition stay behind, whereas the rest of the Glinds seem to have left the demon realm? Well, it seems that the Glinds with a lot of ambitiousness or ambition are easily corrupted or like get too obsessed with power and end up becoming like Zamasu. At least that's what I think the explanation given by Shin seems to be implying. Also, the other Glinds or Kaios, like Kibito, etc., they're from a different tree, so they're not related to Shin. Now, let's get into the confusion that's going on. So for a long time now, I don't know, for years now, right? I think the Daizenshu have called the Kaios or the Kais the Shinjin, right? And even in, I was watching a video by a Japanese YouTuber who mentioned the Dragon Ball Super Exciting Guide mentions that the, how can I put it? The Kais are born from a tree, but they're called Shinjin. So right now, what we're getting is that they're called Glind. So are they Glinds or are they Shinjin? Are they both? And by the way, Shinjin can be translated as like core person. It's a kind of weird translation, but the kanji, the first kanji in Shinjin can be translated as core. A bunch of different translations, but core is probably the best one, and I saw that. That seems to be the common English translation. So it could be that Daima has changed this part of the lore. However, like this whole explanation about Shinjin and all that was never in the manga, in the core like canon, right? It was never illustrated. It was never shown in that way. So this was like backstory, but it may have now been tweaked. So perhaps they're not Shinjin, they're Glinds, or maybe both of these terms are accurate and like Glind is the native term, but then Shinjin is the term that has been adopted outside of the demon realm. I'm not sure that this has been clarified yet, so this is, a bit of a confusing thing. Nevertheless, at least we now know a little bit about, well, it's been confirmed how, they're born and they're kind of like plants, and then Goku makes that joke about how, so that's why he just drinks water all the time, which reminds me of Nameks, right? Like the Namekians and all that, right? They don't eat, right? They just drink water. So, which also makes me wonder, like, so why is Neva so stinky, right? He's just, I don't know. Anyway. Oh, by the way, Glind, in case you're not aware, also is a plant inspired themed name. So Glind in Japanese is Gurindo. And that's just a scrambled up version of Donguri. Donguri means acorn, right? So again, another allusion to plants. And then the demons from the third demon realm all have flower names. So seems that everything except for the king, maybe like Goma, and well, even Goma is actually sesame. You can translate that as sesame, right? So that is a plant reference in a sense. But then Dabura, as far as I know, I don't think there's any plant related thing. That's a magic spell thing. There's no plant angle there. So he might be the exception. I don't know. Anyway, so Glind, Shinjin, I don't know. Hopefully we'll get some kind of explanation in the near future. For now, let's just go with Glinds because that's what Dragon Ball Daima is using. Number 2, Glorio may be an android. So, why am I saying this? Well, it seems there's actually quite a bit of evidence. So, Glorio, as we saw in the fight with Goku, right, is actually very, very strong. But Pansy is very surprised to see that he's so strong, which to me and to others that I've seen on YouTube and Japanese people talking about this, well, that seems to imply that he's, for one, stronger than your average third demon realm, right, resident. And also, like, if he's so strong, then why is he not more famous, right? If he was like super, super strong, you would think that at least some people might know him, but that doesn't seem to be the case. There's also another interesting thing that is being kind of hinted at. So Glorio has this kind of dark, gloomy personality, and Pansy is pointing this out, I think twice already in the previous episode and in this one as well. The only other time that a character in Dragon Ball has been described as dark, Kurai, is actually in the Cell Saga, or well, the Android Saga if you want to be more general. Android number 16 was described as Kurai, dark, by Goku. So that's a very interesting link there, that the only other dark, gloomy character, 16, is also an android. And then we have this whole other angle about, so I'm not too familiar with this because I don't play the Dragon Ball games, but Towa and Mira, apparently Towa created Mira, so Mira's also kind of an android. And well, it seems that this might be the relationship between Arinsu and also Glorio, right? So as we find out, Glorio is working for Arinsu. And seems to be like using Goku to perhaps gather the Dragon Balls, because we know that King Goma wants them, or well, Arinsu may also want them in an effort to take over the demon realm. Maybe this is a double cross kind of thing. Either way, Glorio is working for Arinsu. So we have this mad scientist, right? Self-described mad scientist, and also I think Pansy calls her a mad scientist too in this episode. So we have a scientist and her subordinate. It's being alluded that he has a, this kind of general, well, the reference to Android 16, the abnormal strength that Goku can't detect like he couldn't detect with the androids. And then we also have pre-established characters in the general demon, in the general Dragon Ball lore of Towa and Mira. So there seems to be a lot of hints there, and you could even go further and say like the lightning, right? The episode was called Inazuma Lightning. The lightning that he shoots from his hands and all that. Maybe that's because he's an android, right? Electricity, android. I don't know. Although magic, like he is clearly a magic user as well. So we don't know for sure yet, but there seems to be a lot of allusions and hinting at the fact that he is some kind of Jinzo Ningen, artificial human, android, call it whatever you want to, but that seems to be the case. Number 3. The fight between Goku and Glorio was awesome, but also it seems like it could be a reference to the Namek Saga. That's because, as you may remember, there's a part where Frieza fights Nail with only his left hand. So there aren't a lot of, scenes like this, and Goku doesn't really do this, right? Like, yeah, he holds back, but the one hand thing, like that isn't something that he's ever done as far as I can remember. So this seems to be intentional. So there you go. Maybe the first reference to the Namek saga in Dragon Ball Daima. Number 4. Glorio's lightning whip technique appears to be a reference to Dragon Ball GT. So, of course, this episode itself with the spaceship or airship falling down and then the police coming after them because they're looking for Goku, this is all a big reference to Dragon Ball GT. It's a big homage, or if you're a bit more on the negative side, you would say lazy rehash. That's up to you. I'm enjoying it. I'm okay with it. But anyway, that's all a reference to GT. It's basically, this whole thing has been a big reference to GT. But there's also another element to this, that there's a fight with a character named Muchi who has a whip. And of course, in the fight with Glorio and Goku, you see Glorio use like this lightning whip. So that seems to be yet another homage to Dragon Ball GT. Number 5. Goku has mastered turning Super Saiyan, and it's looking like we're going to be getting more transformation. So that's not too much of a surprise, but as you may remember in the previous episode, Goku was only able to turn Super Saiyan for just a moment. At least that seems to be the implication, because in this episode, Goku says, oh, it looks like I can do it even though I'm a kid, right? So maybe he wasn't so sure if he could hold the transformation, but now he's been able to confirm that he can maintain the Super Saiyan transformation, and he got a significant power boost, as he should. And easily defeated Glorio. But I really enjoyed the way he did that. He just, got to behind him and just said, that's it. You lose. I win. I thought that was great. I loved it. It showed that he was clearly outmatched and Goku was way above. And of course, what he says there is afterwards, the Glorio asks him, so can you do other stuff, right? And Goku says, yeah, I got various other techniques, right? So that's a clear hint at what's to come. We're going to be seeing probably, I am 100% sure we're going to see Super Saiyan 3, because that means more toys, more figures. Super Saiyan 2, we'll see, because that isn't such a clear distinction, but the Super Saiyan 3, I know people love the Super Saiyan 3 transformation, so figures are going to sell, right? So if you get a Goku Mini Super Saiyan 3, that's money in the bank for Toei and Bandai and all that. But anyway, yeah, it was a great fight. I enjoyed it very much, and seeing the Super Saiyan transformation held for more than just 5 seconds, great too. And here's one more. So it seems that the Glins are very woke. Okay, this is just a joke, but yeah, the Glins don't have gender, right? Even though Arinsu has clearly a female voice, Dr. Arinsu, and Degesu has a male voice. And well, Shin, when he was an adult, he had a more male-sounding voice. Now he has a rather female-sounding voice, because it's very common to have female voice actors do the voices for children characters, right? So that's why I'm almost 100% sure that it's a female doing the voice for Shin. But anyway, yeah, it seems that they don't have genders, even though they may express certain gendered behavior or behavior, I guess is the best word there. So interesting, but that's basically it. So I really did enjoy this episode. We got an awesome fight. I loved the Minotaur gag with the Minotaur coming out all scary, and then they kind of ignore him, and then he gets all scared at the end, and he's like, oh no, I actually have a full stomach. Just no, I'm not. You guys got away this time. Feel fortunate that you got away. I love that. That's very Dragon Ball kind of humor. Very OG Dragon Ball, I would say. So I love that gag, and yeah, I really did like this episode. So I'm gonna go with the review part here. I'm gonna give this one another 8 out of 10. I have yet to go above 8 because I have not been blown away yet. I think we're still way too deep in the nostalgia, in kind of going over what happened in GT. I'm okay with the OG Dragon Ball style humor because they can do new jokes, right? But just following the plot beats of the story beats of Dragon Ball GT is kind of, come on, give me something new. Give me something new. And I think we're starting to get that. And we actually did see that little part at the end with Vegeta and Bulma and all that. Their spaceship, something messed up and they crash landed even though they were on their way to the Demon Realm. But I guess next episode, we're going to have Hybis, was it, right? Hybis arrive and take Vegeta and Piccolo and maybe Kibito off to, or maybe more, because I believe he's going in a bigger ship. So maybe even Bulma's going to go, I don't know. Why would she go? I don't know. But anyway, we're probably going to see that in episode 7 or worst case episode 8. I want to see it in episode 7. I want to see Vegeta and Piccolo in the Demon Realm. I want to see them kicking some butt, like sooner rather than later. So hopefully that happens. And maybe I'll finally give it that episode more than an 8, maybe a 9. We'll see. But what do you think about the whole Shinjin Glin thing? And did I miss anything? Do you prefer this format rather than the other format that I've been doing? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.